are off now, and Hata was the Gravekeeper. So a Dream Witch, last human actually, accepting our challenge.
We're seeing a hunter use his signature, well, not signature, but preferred slash highest, high pick of highest success. So let's see. I have a lot of high expectations here for last human as we head into this.
And I just also have to highlight the map. Priestess is
Oh my gosh.
Little boy, you're about to get bleached, and he does, but the movement away again. The Priestess shines so much effort for now. I'm actually really happy that we're in this map because this is the one match I wanted to actually see it in game. Over here, moving, setting his sights now on Hata, that is the Gravekeeper, over there at the cemetery area. And now still moving, last human, just making sure he sets his marks well. And you saw that Hata did drop the pallet, just in case he needs to, get to that burrow state. He can use those pallets for him to just go back and forth. Now still focusing on the decoding. Little boy over here, I believe little boy is Priestess, still working on that cipher she was working on originally. While last human is still on the hunt to try to just mark a survivor.
This is really interesting. I mean, bringing Ever Sleeping into a, but you know what? We're gonna have to focus on the chase right now because it does seem that the last human has found to commit towards chasing down Little Boy here. But look at Little Boy go, just working around the structure beautifully, popping the portal, and nonetheless, though, luckily the flick comes in to land that first hit.
Excellent use of that. And now the successful leash will be put on the Priestess as she back towards the 11. But look at that excellent hit on last human side for her to knock down the Priestess. The Priestess has done the job. The Cypher has been popped, and now the Gravekeeper trying to rotate the position, trying to go for that save. But we still have Mechanic and Chris Carey in the fray. But you know what? One of the scary things about Dream Witch, she's going to leave that survivor. She'll have presence once she's camping on that Priestess.
Right. And this is a really good start for last human, not really needing to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Doesn't really have to deal with the nuisance of going for a prolonged chase, but luckily the rescue does come in for DT. That did come at the cost of Mechanic taking a hit though, but that's pretty much natural just so that they have safer ground towards guaranteeing the Priestess out of the chair. But yeah, Chase is back once again.
Yeah, excellent save. So the Mechanic was the one that went for the save. That was an interesting choice. Now we still have the Gravekeeper there with Tide Turners. And now last human leashing away again of the Mechanic because once the Priestess is down, he does want to set her sights on that Mechanic, and that is down to Cypher. And Cypher. So still anyway, the second time Priestess chair, although the Mechanic is still trying to set up. This lower left part of the screen, Gravekeeper is trying to rotate to a better position and still pop with Cypher. Now, you know what? Dream Witch again. It's like your mind is separated into three human beings as those leeches patrol these shared survivors.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much multitasking that goes into this, and last human, in all fairness, I mean, has been doing fairly well. This is the reason why this is his top pick. And yeah, with two survivors now strapped to a rocket chair, this is going to be a hard response that they can commit to. Luckily, there are only two cyphers remain, so they can.
Wow.
Good save.
You see that scramble of just him just clicking away at getting the rescue. But look at this. The body block. This is up, and the Tide Turner is in effect while the Gravekeeper is trying to do some keep away here on just pushing those objectives to superior now, and will be reached again. So the Priestess is up, but the follower is still there, and what they're talking about here is how much map presence is much map like everything down.
Oh my goodness, there goes Last human getting the teleport, catches the wiggle on that cipher. I mean, this is a lot to deal with at this point. Luckily, does the mechanic on the rock there. There you go, gets a nice wackaroo jump here. Might be in a bit of trouble, but definitely trying to hit punches. Last human is going for that shift. He's trying to prevent the pop on the cipher as much as possible, but still DT was able to time that beautifully as all 4 survivors are now up. Still a lot up in the air there. It is going to be double time here for last human as he makes the teleport.
And her having teleport, she can really cover a lot of ground as she moves and tries to just be able to just block away any of them to be able to open that exit. Last human had sight set on Hata. Will try to lead him, successful lead, and now Hata has to be able to make that exit gate because the tension is a factor for the hunter.
Oh man, this is really interesting. So far, DT is holding out beautifully, but it's so tricky. Leech is already towards these gates. Last human is trying to make something of the situation. Question is, can he at least land one of these survivors? It's coming down to the wire here.
Oh wow, did you see that? Hata was able to get on the train and able to just get out of that situation. And look, we have 3 people exiting, and now Hata, the Gravekeeper, is the only one left, and now the follower is right there. Actually, where Hata is trying to make his way to the dungeon. Can he make it? He is so close, and then he's
gives you so much of a leg up as far as distancing yourself from the hunter. A hunter will have to go all the way around. Whether or not it would lead to better results, we'll just have to see as we head into our second half of game number 2, guys.
As you mentioned, the Bloody does have that mirror, so it's pretty much the same ability as the Priestess has to be able to move the performance really fast. You didn't find anyone here at the middle of the story house. And now Derek, he's getting that 50% because the putting hot on his tail, and now catching his target 9 more to the Gravekeeper. And now,
yeah, and let's see how this will go. We have our Bloody Queen trying to sniff out somebody, and okay, there we go. Mirror image will pop up though. Tries to get the pincer onto Flash here. Looks like not into anything just yet, but it's fine. Still very early on in the game. Looks like he's just trying to weigh out his options here. Also, while looking at these ciphers, just going for the checks. Not really able to spot anybody, but that is fine. Really trying to weigh here. Mirror image will pop up once again. Try to look for that swipe over there. Swaps position, but then the portal was only maximized. We'll take it down though for a safe measure. Reunites with the mirror image. Unfortunately, not really anybody can answer. It does seem that the OSM here so far so good. Just really prepping themselves towards getting the upper hand on these cipher caps.
Yep, OSM really is doing a lot of, is that rotations? Wow, look at this Bloody Queen trying to get a swipe at the Priestess as she was able to ride that tram, and hot on his tail is this Bloody Queen, Klahom, over here, just still on the hot foot here. Nerokun realizing that, shifting his attention and moving towards the graveyard.
Yeah, man, this is such a detriment for the hunter. I really feel for this Bloody Queen right now because those portals are proving to be a headache. But you know what? Your image will be popped once again. There you go. That's how you do it. Landing that sit onto Nerokun. This is great priority coming from the Bloody Queen because if you have that Priestess down early, at least those portals won't be the pestilence to your situation right now. And there you go. Finally, patience has paid off. Everything down. That will be first drop shift.
Exactly. I think that's the game plan of this Bloody Queen, to really just hamper the movement and the mobility of all these survivors, not putting any more holy keys in the picture, but 2 ciphers remain. He was really focused on this Priestess. Now the Gravekeeper is going to get hit out of there, and this is where the hunter can start to snowball. Very dangerous that there is a survivor trying to decode up there in the second story. Now Jacket with the signature forward, gets the hit in just so that he can be able to save this priestess, and he does.
Oh my gosh, this is slowly closing in, but okay. What can be the priority though? Actually, tries to swap back towards great priority, in which case tries to swap around, just waiting for that to drop, and there you have it. Tries to overjack this time to see if he can get a swipe. That won't be the case though. Establishes some distance and decides to turn back to Naruto to bring him for his second time on that rocket chair.
Yeah, it was actually great that Clyhome was able to just swat away the forward so that he won't be able to knock him down once he picks up the priestess. But then that forward is hot on the tail, but he leaves the area of the graveyard. One cipher remaining. So will they go for the rescue, or will they just try to get that 3-man out? Because you know what, the Bloody Queen did get basement.
Oh man, it's very interesting though, because as far as the round is, this could make the biggest difference. All the team needs is one survivor out of this game in order to have this round 1 win. But it does look like they managed to salvage that priestess, so gotta be careful. Last effort will come in. How is that cipher going? It is ready for the pop though. The question is, at what point do they want to go for it?
Yeah, that's true. A very tough spot. They go for it while Narukun is still hot on the tail of this Bloody Queen. Excellent portal usage, but 9 Mamos is about to run into them. Narukun going up to the 2nd floor, drops back down. Cloyholm still determined to get this priestess back on that rocket chair and get at least one survivor down. An excellent use of the mirror image, and the priestess goes down.
Oh my gosh, this is great for DT. Even though the points might be so close, this is such a huge difference by the round. Tries to go for at least one more, tries to cancel those escapes, actually gets a swipe, but it doesn't matter. The flash is going to be out of here. 9 Mamos though is actually still within the compound. Gotta be careful.
Yeah,
but
he is burrowing.
We were talking about this earlier, Potch, when we were hovering over the rosters.
Yes.
We're seeing yet another situation where our hunter is bringing a prime pick to the table.
Costume here, Axe Boy, more like King Axe Boy royalty. So as he's moving away from the 2-story, he has his sight set on the flash, but that is actually a very scary hunter to chase, survivor to chase, because the flash is the mercenary. These peaceful pines again will really be able to help out his chase as they move on and set his sight on Narukun, the acrobat. He just needs to time his bombs well placed for him to move around. And now we did a full rotation of the bridges area here, Articuno. And still on the chase is Jack. Oh my gosh, these are the fireballs that we were talking about. They give him that speed boost.
Yeah, great balls of fire. He does have this is his domain though, but looks like Narukun is going to jump straight for that window. This will grant him a little bit of distance between himself as well as Axe Boy. So far so good, in which case not a bad transition at all.
Wow, excellent use of that great balls of fire there, that spirit. Narukun eating that hit as he was moving along, changes his ball here, and now this is actually a pretty good jump spot for the acrobat. But you know what, with running peepers, this is actually a pretty good build on the side of DT's hunter. Now he is just trying to find his mark, trying to move away, and he's gonna take that roller coaster. And now Cloyholm here is gonna have to cover a lot of ground, especially if that roller coaster keeps moving and now going to 3rd stop. Excellent usage of the terrain here on the side of OSM.
Oh my gosh. Got a feel for Axe Boy, in which case a lot of trips being made over this bridge so far. I think this is his 3rd trip crossing a bridge, and he still has his eye set on landing Narukun here. I will say though, I mean, this has been great progress, great time used for OSM, in which case I think what has been interesting though is with how these rotations have been turning out, it's also been allowing the hunter to kind of get a peek of how all these ciphers have been. It's like you're taking a world tour.
True. Very true. What's progressing, an excellent usage of that fireball again in the same area just outside of 2-story building. And now, you know, oh wow, the forward was there to spoil everything, and my goodness, a combo getting hit the forward hit, but no, look at that, OSM's Nerukun can eat that second hit, and now Kloihome here just making sure to swat away Jacket, which is the forward of Team OSM.
Yeah, good job in which case coming in from our hot here to do outcome from OSM. We'll go straight to making sure that Nerukun is secured. We do see the hesitation of committing to the pickup though, just because of the crowd control that can come up, and there you go!
Another successful hit, but excellent movement there from the acrobat, but no, to no avail. Was able to swat him while he was still in the air, and now he has to be very careful because that Cypher is about to be primed.
Yeah, man, OSM really pulling out the stops here. Nerukun looks like we'll finally be getting a taste of that rocket chair, but look at this, being brought straight to the basement, just so that OSM has a trickier time at going for the salvage.
Excellent choice here. Oh my gosh, he can get 2 hits on this forward. My gosh, that was an excellent placed fireball there. But this was a great choice by OSM for DT for him to go to that basement. And Articuno, the tides are turning in DT's favor.
Yeah, this is excellent, and unfortunate for OSM. They weren't able to. I see what they were going for. It's just that things didn't quite work out with this Cypher up. Look, there you go. Trying to go for the hit. Everybody is up though. This is great. Looks like they will be popping that Cypher now, but there's still a lot in the air for OSM.
Wow, excellent jukes there, but my gosh, the Mercenary will get hit, and now is slowly falling, and look at this, the Acrobat's still doing his dukes, and really putting up a fight here, but then the Cypher is almost primed, waiting for it, but no, gets picked up. DT's Hunter here came to play, and they popped that Cypher. The tension will be a factor, and the Acrobat will be seeing the basement chair.
Yes, sir. Not gonna be long of this world, in which case, question is, what is OSM gonna go for here? I mean, the tension is such a huge factor, in which case, going for a save on Nerukun at this point is gonna be a huge risk. But you know what? Axeboy, knowing very well what the play should be, just kind of plays around this bridge area, trying to scout out if anybody does go for that rescue move onto Nerukun. Looks like that won't be the case. That will be the transition now to hopefully go for one more.
Oh wow, just swats him away, and the Mercenary is the only one left. Now this is a very tricky situation for DT. Now he sees that the Mercenary is close to that dungeon. I believe he is right there, and that extend this and win this round is if she gets an early down to that mechanic. Because once she can control that Cypher Rush and just prioritize the rest of the team to go for that save of Jumperior.
Oh, it's game over, at least for this best of 3. But you know what? We'll find out right now if Last Human can make the most of Destiny as we head into our second half of round 2, or game 2 of the day between DT and OSM. Last Human, though,
wow,
looks like trying to get some work done already with that mirror image.
Excellent snipe out of the Mechanics doll. Now Jumperior drops another doll, but Last Human just was able to catch that whiff of that mechanic. And now Jumperior trying to just get as much distance away from that doll he just dropped. Last Human, though, waiting for that mirror cooldown to just happen for him to be able to do that pincer maneuver that we've seen so much Bloody Queens do. Now Jumperior moving to head out to first stop, but eats a hit while she transitions over to the pallets of first stop.
Oh man, this is a good starter for Last Human here, getting that pressure onto Mechanics so early on. Not the pressure, a successful down, and that will be Jumperior onto the rocket chair. And unfortunately, in comparison to earlier, there's nobody that's there to really deter Jumperior from hitting. You don't have a forward to stop Last Human.
That's true, yes. We do have a Perfumer in the mix, I believe a Gravekeeper and a Merc, so nothing to really pester the Hunter. And now the Gravekeeper eats a hit, unfortunately unable to use his shovel. He does now as he's half hit, and I believe he's making his way to go save that mechanic before he hits the halfway mark. And this is a perfect placement for Last Human because he's still able to patrol that Cypher over at God Kiting. Now Little Boy also in the fray and Gravekeeper eats the hit, but saves Mechanic in the process.
Yes, sir. Mirror image will come up once again, but unfortunately, Jumperior wasn't able to establish some distance. Last effort will come up though, so that will buy a few seconds of time at most. But you also have to take into account DT still trying to work at their hard on the cipher. If you notice, two survivors were kind of committed towards that save. So at the end of the day, you have to take into account that there's still quite a bit of a way to go for DT.
True, there's still a lot of ciphers to be popped and still 4 survivors in. Mechanic is on her second round in the chair, but we do see a very healthy mercenary that could go for that save as the Perfumer goes to heal that Gravekeeper. And now you see the the elbow dash there. Eats the hit just so that he'll come at the nick of time, but then Last Human has her sights set on Jumperior. Jumperior hang around in the pallet area, moves over and still, just tight kites, and it's very dangerous, especially with a Dream Witch. Mechanic will be falling in a bit, but then now Last Human trying to just set his sights around the environment just to see if anybody is there to hamper her shared survivor. Yes,
sir. Oh man, second time, and progress is still quite a bit to work with here for DT. That said, oh, there you go. Jumperior third, rather, and will be out of this game. And like I said, still a lot to work with for DT, and the fact that they already lost out on one, it's a stretch that we're working with.
True. Now Last Human getting out of 2-story here. I believe catches a whiff of someone there, but still moves on to the other side. Sees Hada across the bridge and tries to get Hada, the Gravekeeper, a fully healed one with still 1 shovel remaining. Drops the pallet. This is going to be a very interesting kiting session on the side of Last Human. Drops another pallet and gets hit in the process. Now Last Human is still setting his sight on this Gravekeeper. Excellent movement here, but then pallets are not going to be a factor in this kiting.
Yes, sir. Really, man. Last Human really committing towards this Gravekeeper. Gravekeeper, of course, talent its way through, trying to keep the distance as much as possible, but Last Human is definitely closing in. Luckily, Gravekeeper did transition to a place where he can work with a few structures. Looks like, okay, what's the call here? He's kind of moving towards the stairs for a bit, but does decide to go for the left. Goes for the sharp turn. Last hit.
Kiting. Little boy over here, the Perfumer, still use the perfume. The after image of that Gravekeeper was just entering or phasing through that real estate, but he was able to get that swipe.
At the end of the day, that not only gets them in a good position of points, but this
Gravekeeper.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you mentioned the rescue at the top, because considering map size plus how aggressive you can get with Last Human on this bloody screen, it does seem like they would want to have as much utility as possible to go for to have a lot of abilities for rescues. It will be easier for Last Human to potentially land rocket chairs should the kites not be quite there for the survivors. But I'm really having high expectations for the survivors here. But there you go, first whack on the head to Gravekeeper.
I love how Last Human was really conservative in terms of saving the mirror image and not just using it right away. And Yellow Duck was punished for moving to another area, but Gravekeeper being such a great survivor, eating that hit while he's in that burrow state. And now Last Human again with another mirror image. This is the same spot he hit him in. My goodness, Last Human came to hunt.
Oh my god, them barrels though. For Last Human, helping him. In which case, okay, gonna play the defense for now. Try to spook out DT. It does seem like everybody is still working on these ciphers, nonetheless.
Yep, and now Last Human still setting his sights on Jumperior. Has to keep his sight on Gravekeeper because someone is trying to go for that save, and I believe that is Little Boy, but the Perfumer is fallen down. And now shifting his attention because the Gravekeeper gets off there and leaves the Perfumer knocked down, which is a pretty good strategy. And now he is back on the hunt in trying to get this Gravekeeper back into that rocket chair. Excellently placed mirror for him to get that last effort.
Yeah, there you go. Yellow Duck, of course, naturally going to try to establish as much distance as possible. Good on Witch last week, but was able to just take down that pallet. Happening in this particular area. It's at least one less obstacle to worry about, but nonetheless, this will be Yellow Duck's second time on the rocket chair. Again, with the rest of the heavy comp, as you mentioned, Watch, this should be something that DT will be able to deal with. Now, the big question here is, once another rescue comes in, can Yellow Duck salvage himself, or will that be a third time on that rocket chair within just 30 seconds? Last Human has been so efficient with this Bloody Queen.
And now Hada here over at Sandbags needs the hit just so we can save his fellow comrade here. Yellow Duck with not much to work with in terms of resources because he was able to use all of that, but my goodness, gonna get punished there for dropping that pellet. Very unfortunate on Gravekeeper's side, but he will try to buy as much time as possible for his team to push those ciphers and push those objectives for them to get out of this compound. And now the Gravekeeper will fall. Now, I have a feeling that the forward might be in the area, or maybe not, just for him to be able to just get that tackle in. But they're going to play it conservatively and try to push for objectives.
There you have it. First survivor out of this. 3 more remaining. Cypher progress is decent, so to speak. Although, with last few counts, that's going to be a lot more pressure that they have to work with. So they have to be careful.
Oh wow, just spawned right into the factory there just to see if any of those survivors were wiggling those ciphers. Hada is still in half-life, as well as the Perfumer. First Officer is the only one that is pushing the cipher as of now on the lower left side of the screen, and we see that the dungeon is right in the middle of the map, and Last Human is duly noting that as he tries to close out the distance of Hada with that mirror image. Excellent uses of that football to get away from the range of the Bloody Queen, but the mirror image is still going to be a factor here in terms of chasing this forward down, and he's gonna move his attention, his real body towards it, tries to swipe at him, but Hata practicing some great movement, able to get that jump, and now teleport back on.
Oh man, Chase and shoes, in which case Jumperior working nicely with the structures. Mirror image will be popped in, though luckily even the last one himself wasn't together. Mirror image just doing the dirty work for it and gets the landing. Jumperior will be going to that rocket chair now.
I like how you put it. The mirror doing the dirty work, really just creating these shortcuts for her to be able to put those survivors into the rocket chair. Perfumer, first time playing the musical chairs here, and now 2 rescue characters, but the forward does have 1/4 of that rugby ball left, but he is on cipher duty as the First Officer will make his approach and try to save his fellow comrade that is Jumperior.
Yeah, you have to take note though, that cipher that they're banking on is still a long way to go. So Jumperior, there you go, back to the rocket chair, unfortunate. And with that said, that will put DT in a precarious situation. Luckily, that is only second time though, so this is still somewhat doable.
Yep, Last Human was able to see that the First Officer used his pocket watch. Now I believe, yeah, he's waiting on the forward to just admit to him that it is primed, just so that he can make the rescue. Last Human again with that, trying to swipe the after image, and now it is the real First Officer that is getting that rescue. It is so close because the Perfumer is about to be sent back to the manor. Will he will get it? Gets the charge shot. An excellent save on this kind of First Officer. Forward does prime the cipher, and now we have ourselves a game, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir. DT has the right cards in their court now, but the swipe comes in, but it doesn't matter. They have that cipher ready. Pop it goes. Last Human looks like we'll go for the commit onto the boy. Mirror image will be popped. Starting to close in though, but still looks like First Officer still has his utility to work with, so this does put Last Human in a tricky state. You know what? I am not going to deal with you any further. Just going to go straight for this forward that was on the side of the map. Good call in which case.
Yeah, excellent shift of priority there for last human. He knew that the first off, shooting the backwatch, it was going to take a while for him to actually get that after image right. And now sharing the forward, even though it's his first chair, does put pressure on the survivor. And
Okay, never mind. Actually, sorry, I'm my eyes played tricks on me. I'm just gonna stop my point right there. Save me, Punch.
okay, sorry. Yes, the survivors are gonna have a hard time in terms of the chase, dealing with this bonbon, and now heading towards 3 pallet here. Jacket makes his way out of that situation, hides around it, and Eli Home, I'm not sure if he wants to deal with this Gravekeeper as he drops more and more pallets for him to break.
Yeah, patience game in which case, by just making sure that he keeps himself within contact of Jacket, constantly dropping these pallets. I think it's a good call. Even in the moment, sure, he's not able to commit towards getting hits on Jacket right away, but at least it's a long term. It's a long term by going for those pallets early, just so that in case of those prolonged fights, it gives limits to where these survivors can eventually transition.
And yeah, Jacket realizing that in 3 pallets, he was able to destroy those 2 pallets. Now, making his transition back over there, but then Eli Home here able to just deter him from sticking around for too long. And now Jacket hightailing to head towards the factory and get the hit there as he drops down those pallets.
Yes, it really looks like Jacket is really trying to make the most of the terrain that he has. Already halfway through though. Luckily, he was able to burrow once again, just so that he can duck and weave away from these bombs. But unfortunately, it's not even going to be a bomb. It's just that last whack on the head that takes him down, as this guard 26 will be content with bringing his first victim for his first time on the rocket.
DT's Hunter saying it's hammer time, and he's able to snipe out that Gravekeeper, and now we're going to the basement. My goodness, this is a tough rescue, but they do have a Priestess on deck, so that is probably the best person with the tools needed to make this rescue over here at Factory. But DT, though, with his DT's Hunter, Eli Home, really just making it a hard time for his Priestess to even make the approach to Factory.
Absolutely. You know, it's so interesting how this area became such an how this area can flip the script from being an optimal place to kite around a hunter to a fortress where it's suddenly hard to make these rescues.
Yeah, you said it best. The fortress is what he is presenting now, and now he's inside here. And I believe the Priestess. Oh, someone did get hit. I'm not quite sure who, and he's just making this dance floor light up with bombs, making sure that the Gravekeeper is going to be secured and heading out, because he really needs to get all the survivors as he can for a DT to be able to move on. And now we have a tied game with one survivor being sent back to the manor.
Yes, sir. This is some great circumstance that this bonbon is working on. And looks like it's already slowly getting a whiff of 9 Mamos here. It's all about getting the spot on, and there you have it. The chase is on. Bombs are going to start to come in. Question is, where they find him landing. So far, so good here for 9 Mamos. Hasn't endured a hit just yet, forcing the Scar 26 over the window, so just buy a bit more time. And there you go. Shots fired just to hold the fort.
Wow, it's right out of nowhere over here at Water Tank. Again, Coordinator, a really good toolkit for her to be able to use that. 1 Cypher remained, it is halfway, ready to pop, and now DT's Hunter over here, the Bonbon, is shifting his attention toward that Coordinator. Still being held enough for long. Excellent hammer hit there for the Coordinator to just move and transition away from those 3 pallets, away from near 3 pallets to head over to the sandbag areas. And I believe he's introducing the dungeon area. So this is a pretty good situation for DT's Hunter, because he now knows where the dungeon is at and try to stifle any clutch escape from OSM.
Yes, sir. Oh, man. Here you have it. 9 Mamos really working around these walls. But, okay. I love the ring around the Rosie in this case, because this is a lot of time being bought. Hopefully allow the rest of the team to escape. But there you go. 9 Mamos unfortunately has fallen.
Yup, and now the tension is the factor. He was able to use his link, and now they were able to open the gate, and I don't think they're going to try to rescue the to go for the out. Right now, chair. And here in Priest is just waiting at that exit gate. I don't know if we're going to see a shift in abilities here, but he does very quick. And now they're just going to go for the out. And it's GG to